no customer should be bigger than 20% of your revenue.
Yeah.
Or else if you lose them, you're gonna have to lay off employees. You're probably gonna go into a burn.
Yeah.
This guy's 100%.
Yeah, right.
I mean, in 14 days, he could lose a business that's grossing over $4 million a year.
Right.
Just because some executive doesn't like it.
Yeah.
Just tell me when to take off my shirt.
Can you be in the same county as us running? Slow down, bro. 30 feet, not 300 feet.
Pacers now?
Let's go. Pacers.
I think interesting question you kind of brought up is, I think people would like to hear is if your business was booming in COVID or it's something you got into COVID.
Yeah.
And now it's kind of trickled down because the market's kind of stabilized.
Correct.
People are more open to going outside.
Yeah.
Your choke point now, which was your the opposite,
Yeah.
is now that, oh, people are going outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking at, or, you know, they're not staying in their homes. They're not
Yeah.
ordering a bunch of stuff. They're, you know,
Yeah, your volume's down.
your volume's down from what it was in 2020.
Yeah.
Which again is not a solvable choke point, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
It's just the way the market is, right? The market's gonna go where it's gonna go.
Yeah.
but I mean, I'd say
It's not-
defining a choke point is, this is what stopped me my business from growing.
Yeah.
But not every problem you have is a choke point.
True.
And in his case, he's got two problems I don't think are choke points. Number one is he's a builder. He loves the excitement, the thrill, and the danger of a startup. And he's so bored. And the reason he's bored is because he's got excellent systems and procedures.
Yes, he does.
He does not need to show up at all. He shows up 3 days a week,
Yeah.
not because he has to.
Yeah.
He's got an awesome corporate culture.
Yeah.
He's got key people in place
Yeah.
who've been there for years. They're not going anywhere. They're not very expensive people,
Yeah.
but they consider themselves very well paid. And so
Yes, they are.
it's like,
He does a great job with them.
if he over-optimized the business, the only way he'd do that is by squeezing everybody's wages
Yeah.
in a way that would really ruin the culture.
Yeah.
So, like, over-optimizing wages would create its own problems.
Yeah.
So, like, number one, he's bored.
Yeah.
And number two,
He wanted the next challenge, you know?
yeah, he wants the next challenge. But the second one is related to the first one, and that is his key customer risk, which is not a choke point, really.
Right.
I guess it is, because he's not allowed to have another customer. But really, his biggest problem is not that this customer won't grow. His biggest problem is this customer can pull the rug out from him on a 14-day notice.
Yeah.
And more importantly, this customer gets to dictate terms. When you only have one customer, they get to decide what to pay you.
Yeah.
And
What is it? I think we've all heard this conversation about trying not to have a 20% or greater than 20% client. And it would be great to not have.
yeah. No customer should be bigger than 20% of your revenue.
Yeah.
Or else if you lose them, you're gonna have to lay off employees. You're probably gonna go into a burn.
Yeah.
This guy's 100%.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, in 14 days, he could lose a business that's grossing over $4 million a year.
Right.
Just because some executive doesn't like it.
Yeah.
And so, but he's very likable. I don't think that'll happen. And it hasn't been known to happen.
How interesting though for me to have the conversation about he's in the restaurant space and a 90% failure.
Yeah.
Not a huge concentration problem.
That's right.
You're in that market, you know, you're in your community. Within 5-mile radius is going to be 80%, if not plus, of your clientele.
Yeah.
But turns around, that business doesn't do well, especially during COVID.
Yeah.
Then you deal with an industry, you're locked in, single client, and I don't know, it seems like it's an industry where there's very few failures.
Oh yeah, no,
You really
so
have
far,
to poorly run it. Yeah,
the whole program, like, he's saying nobody walks away from it.
yeah,
You get a route, it's a meal ticket.
Cash
So,
cow.
yeah. But in his desire to fix his key customer risk, okay?
Yeah.
And his stir craziness,
Yeah.
because he's just going crazy. He's like, I just need a crisis to solve. I'm a problem solver. I've got to build something.
Yeah.
So now he's going out there.
You can see he could effectively run a $50 million company if he had it.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, and he can start a $50 million company.
Yeah.
Here's where you get to Alex Hormozy. He says, beware the girl in the red dress, because
Right.
she's going to distract you.
Yeah.
Everything he sees as a red dress, meaning that instead of going back to the home services business that he knows really well,
Right.
he wants to start it again with this really innovative spin that is going to cost him a fortune to explain in marketing. He has this absolutely brand new idea to somehow thread the needle between DIYers and people who hire other people to do the service for them. And there's not that much gap in this particular case. in price.
Yeah. He had a couple ideas of where he wants to go and what he wants to do. So
The ideas are just ideas to keep him. He wants to keep driving forward.
yeah.
He can't keep driving forward in this, but he's a driver, so he's not going to stop.
Yeah.
And so he found an idea in his old space to give him something to go.
Yeah.
Well, all right, so his other idea is
I
value
get to
add.
the back.
Got you.
A value add to his peers, like selling services to his peers, which no one's done successfully. Doesn't mean he couldn't do it, but.
Yeah.
And so I think the reason he's drawn to these kind of exotic ideas is because they sound the opposite of the boringness that he's got right now.
That's true.
But in the same way they're the opposite of the boringness, they'll also be the opposite of the profitable.
Yeah. And the simple, keeping it's within the industry. It's a transportation delivery,
Yeah.
but at the same time, it's innovative.
It's
It's
interesting.
going to be tough.
And new hard is stuff that's hard to push.
Let's go, buddy. I know. All right, Chip.
But I think that's why when he got into the restaurant space,
Yeah.
he had never had one day of work in the restaurant space.
Right.
He appeals, the challenge appeals to him.
Yeah, right.
And if he had spent any time in the business, he'd have known what a horrible business model that is.
Yeah.
And what the massive fill rate is.
Yeah.
And point is, he's attracted to excitement.
Yeah.
And we know, I'm gonna write dozens of millionaires, self-start guys who bootstrap their way to millions of dollars. And how many of them own exotic businesses? I can think of two,
Yeah.
where they were like, oh, wow, that's a clever idea.
Yeah.
Everybody else, they're putting roofs on houses,
Yeah.
putting windows in houses,
Yeah. Pipes in houses.
boring stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a painter. Oh, what do you do? I just said it, I'm a painter. Like, oh yeah, but what's your spin? Well, nothing, we come and paint your house, we can pay us. Like, good service, great reviews,
Right.
make lots of money. And if you ask a kid, oh, what kind of business would you start? They'll cook up something crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, no one's doing dolphin training professionally as a service. Okay. When you waste all your money on that idea, we'll come back and we'll do something really boring.
Yeah.
So,
That's what he did.
yeah, it is. So, anyway, what I would suggest to him is what, Brian? What would you do if you were him? First on the choke point.
I would look at acquiring other guys, and as far as that, I think you just have to be content with your margins and get better quality service. You know,
Yeah.
that's what I think.
So, SBA loan,
Yeah.
set us up with a
Yep.
$4 million business somewhere.
Yep. Absolutely.
And if that meant,
I would maybe even go to one of the other carriers
yeah,
that have routes open. I know I'd love to be in your same area,
yeah,
same route, because you know that executive, you know that customer.
yeah,
But I wouldn't be afraid of the challenge of the other major player in the market.
And I think if you just started shaking the trees and telling your corporate connections, hey, my son really wants to
Yes,
get
correct.
into this, but I'd like to keep him local.
Yes.
A year of just being the squeaky wheel
Yeah.
probably gets you something.
Right.
If not, you go to Minnesota
Yeah.
and build up a business. 3 years later, you sell it, you use that money to buy
Yeah.
an equivalent one where you want to be.
Right.
Like, you're not from here.
Yeah.
You know, you come out and grinding. All right, so second, his two
What's another thing to discuss
two
today?
issues. We'll solve it. He's bored, and to solve his boredom, he's attracted to really kind of exotic business startup ideas
Yeah.
as his plan B. What would you do with that?
Yeah, I think you just got to get that out of your system, to me.
Yeah.
I'd like, but you know, he's drawn by something he's never done before. Each industry change has been, hey, I'll see if I can solve a problem.
Yeah.
And I wish he would, and hope he does, stays in his lane.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So Alex Hormozi says patience is finding something to do while you wait. And in his case, his business isn't much of a ministry at this point.
Right.
So if he can create a calling or ask God for calling outside of his profession, something he can get himself,
Yeah.
you know, start up something on the ministry side where he's not trying to make a successful business out of it, where he's just trying to bless people.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that'd be
Something.
cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a really good idea.
Yeah, let himself find something to do while he's waiting.
Yeah.
Like, he basically just has to wait long enough, he'll be a multimillionaire cash money.
Sure.
He just has to stack it. But if he wastes all the money he makes on ideas that don't go anywhere, then it's almost like he's resetting the clock on his final exit. So, which could be, in the end, to give his business to his son.
Yeah.
So, all the more reason to protect what he's got.
Second topic. What is your perspective on having a career versus a calling?
Ooh. What do you think, Riley? You got out of college, you went to sell some roofs, you said, this isn't for me, I'm gonna go to law school. Hey, work for my brother, work for my dad. Is that your calling or is that a career? Career is what you've paid for, calling is what you're made for.
Yeah, I think it's a career. The calling is where I feel like it's God leading me, what he's leading me to do with, and where I can kind of intertwine them together.
Yeah.
And we talked about how that's when you found your sweet spot, is whenever your career and your calling come together and you feel like you're working in your career and with God at the same time.
Yeah.
And that sweet spot is that combining of them of the two of them.
Yeah.
Sounds like
So-
you showed up at the men's breakfast yesterday. Good job.
Hey, wow.
I do this to my kids. What was the sermon about? Were you sleeping? Did you have your earbuds in? Yeah, Riley. What about you?
I didn't know if I was supposed to go down that path.
You nailed it,
I feel
brother.
like it was led.
Yeah, he's a lamp.
He's a lamp.
Lamp.
I wonder by who.
You're a distressed property wholesaler, Irving, on a business. Is that a calling or a career?
I think I come from a family of real estate investors. So similar to Riley, kind of fell into it as a career. And when I first started, it was just about making as much money as possible.
Yeah.
The deeper I get into it, the more walls I hit, that I realize that that's not a driver in the way that you need to become a successful business. So going back, flipping my business model, prioritizing helping people, prioritizing a service, and then figuring out how to monetize it
Yeah.
later, that's turned it into more of a calling
Yeah.
than a career. So
Okay. So if the job you have or the business you own is a calling, does that mean that you're going to have that same job your whole life?
no, I believe not. I believe callings can change.
Yeah.
One day, any one of us can be called to ministry. One day, God can call us to grow the business even more.
Yeah.
You gotta always be on the lookout you gotta be steadfast in God, but he might change your calling without you even knowing.
Oh, so good.
All right.
Running says something about a business owner. Running takes hard work. It takes commitment. It means waking up early, doing what you don't feel like doing. We are 7, 8, and 9-figure business owners running 7 miles a day. A dedicated runner makes a strong entrepreneur. Join us as we talk business, strategy, processes, choke points, strong culture. We are each successful in business, connected by a common faith in Jesus Christ, bringing our A game every single day.
Hey guys, if you watch my content, you probably own a business, and I would love to one-on-one with you. I'd love to talk with you about the things I always talk about. 3 things. What would have to be true to 10x your business? What can be done to make your business easier to run? And what can be done to reduce risk in your business? I'd love to talk about those things with you. If you want to just click, there's in the description below, there should be a link to a Calendly. You could set up a free one-on-one with me. Love to spend some time on the phone with you, just talking through your story. Maybe obviously my ulterior motive is to get you to come onto the podcast, but I don't mind if you don't want to get onto a podcast. I'd love to just have a one-on-one with you if I can give you some help. So if you're a Christian business owner, I mean, any size business, any type of business, I'd love to help you. So go ahead and click the link below, get onto a Calendly so you and I can have a talk. I'd love to help you if I can. I love your help with my business if you have some advice for me. So thanks so much for watching. Thank you for being a part of our community.